Why animals are better than humans in every way. Well, you might already just know this because you like animals so much and you're like, man, these animals, they're just chilling, they're just having fun. Why can't we be like them? Why can't we just cuddle them all the time or whatever? And everybody's looking at animal videos online and they're getting all this traction and they're great, not gonna lie, they're great. But how great are they? Well, they're better than humans. In what way do I say this? Why do I say this? I'm going to share with you in this video. It's very important because we can learn for ourselves what we should do based on learning other animals. Now, that doesn't mean everything we do should be based on other animals. Obviously, there's a lot of things that animals do that we don't like. But that's because we have a higher conscience. We create all these complex systems, religions, and politics. But those are for morality, that is for order, but it also sometimes have counterintuitive results and results that actually create chaos. So maybe there's something we can learn from both ourselves and the animals, and really harmonize ourselves with this natural universe as a whole. And that is what I see most about with animals, okay? So they don't have necessarily the same components as us, but you cannot deny that they are in harmony with their nature. And if they are sick, they rest. They know they don't go to a hospital, they don't take a drug, they're not following orders necessarily, going to their doctor, although it might be a similar sense if they're talking to their mother figure or father figure. They tend to be with their families, by the way, which a lot of humans are not, but they rest nonetheless. They listen to their bodies. They're always out and about in nature, receiving natural things, unless humans kind of get involved with their business, but still, they basically listen to their body. And this is something that people are starting to notice in alternative medicine, or at least in different forms of medicine that are being introduced to the West from the East, saying, hey, you got to look inward, you got to look at your body, you got to listen to it and find out what is best for your health, for your blueprint, essentially, what nature gave you. And these animals, they're always listening to their body. And of course, like I said, it doesn't mean that there's some problems here and there, but how much are humans doing that? And that is the question here, because everybody has a nature of their own. And yes, we all are different and similar in different regards, okay, the yin and the yang here. But what do? Are we listening to our body, or are we just giving it away, saying, nah, we don't need to pay attention to our health. We can just eat all this fake food. Oh, I'm sick, but I have to go to work. I have to do this. And they put their health on the sidelines. Would an animal in nature do that? Well, they don't really have a job that is dedicated to their life, unless it's, of course, making their family better or making themselves better. That is their job. Their job is maintaining their nature. Yet, for humans, their job might be some complex man-made thing that was passed down or that is just traditionally upheld in society. So this is something really important to notice. Are you listening to your body? And they do what they need to do, and they enjoy life, and they relax. Are you doing what you need to do, and are you enjoying life and relaxing? Now, I'm not saying being lazy or consuming or being distracted or going for the material game or trying to find out this or that. Are you just letting life be? Because so often, you'll see this especially among companions, if you have pets as companions, you'll see they go with the flow. They're there. Now, they may be detached from their natural environment, and you can see it. A cat wants to run around. It wants to chase things. That's why you have to give it a laser pointer. This is why you have to give it some toys to sort of mimic its natural habitat. But how much are humans away from their natural habitat, and how much do they need to mimic that? Maybe they do it through technology, right? Oh, I can't find a girlfriend. I guess I got to get an AI girlfriend. I mean, the things people are going to do to sort of mimic the nature that has always been there for so long, such as relationships or human interaction, now being replaced by technology and AI, right? So these are just things to keep in mind, because these animals are still true to themselves. They're not necessarily fooled by the television. Yeah, some of the pets and animals are going to be like looking at the TV, but they're not going to be as ingrained and indoctrinated by that TV. They can still be fooled by it because it's such a great illusion. It's like, oh, here's a mirror. Oh, what is this thing? I see myself, right? It's amazing. But humans, we fool ourselves even with a higher conscience, the ability to see more. We still fool ourselves as much as animals, and we still fall to animal instinct, and we need to rise above that to realize we have morality, we can evolve, we don't need to be slaves to anyone, we can, educate each other. We can live in harmony with one another. That is morality, something that animals may not necessarily transmit the same way we do, but they live in their own regards to their own nature, and this is what's important, okay? animals are getting sick when humans typically get involved. When, maybe they get ran over by a car, or they're on the wrong diet because they're a companion, they're in the wrong environment, they don't live as long, right? So there's all these complex factors. You see, there's a lot of people who have pets and they end up with all sorts of diseases, and you have to question, why is that? Right? And it really is a detachment away from their nature. Why are these animals getting fat and lazy? And why are humans getting fat and lazy? They're not doing anything. But what were they doing when they were a child? They were running around, they were imaginative, they were creative, they were trying to find new things to do. Maybe they lost at some point in time, where they just gave up, or they gave in to some sort of illusion of technology or comfort or safety that kept their basic needs fulfilled, but they never felt truly fulfilled in achieving something greater than themselves. So we are like animals, okay, instinctually, but we have a lot more than that. We have the conscience, we have morals, but yet somehow we are destructive. We create these systems and we have contradictions within our own head. I'm going to put some questions on the screen for you. Why do we create systems that are for morality, but yet they contradict our own morality? And if you ask yourself these questions that I put on the screen, okay, these 5 questions, I want you to really think about your own moral system, okay? Now, don't externalize, don't put it on other people. Think about this for yourself, your own conscience. You have one, your own self, okay? Your own being. I know there's a world full of mass amounts of people and information. It doesn't mean you attach yourself to that. You are your own person. Use it. See, humans are attracted to animals because we want to return to nature, and to some extent, helping or having animals is our way of returning to nature. Maybe we don't have relationships, and so we want to cuddle with an animal instead. We seek that love and nurturing without judgment. We feel like humans are always going to judge us for different things and have different expectations, but an animal is just going to love us unconditionally. And they don't need to speak. They just give us emotion, and sometimes that emotion is just what we're looking for, and we can't find in other human beings because they're always jabbering all the time. They don't know when to be silent, and they don't know how to truly care for one another, or they're always busy wrapped in other things that they can't do that. This is why people have companion pets, like people have like medical cards for, this is a pet that I'm allowed to bring with me everywhere because it's for my comfort and my safety and yada yada, because people really find pets to be so helpful for them. So really, are humans all that much greater than animals if they're dependent on animals, or if they create systems that animals would never have created? Do animals go in mass conflict and mass war with their own species? Because only humans do that. There was an experiment done. Mark Twain, he wrote about this, how humans are the lowest animal. Of course, he wrote a lot of satirical work, but this is a satirical work that was to represent the fact that humans are willing to go to war with one another, of many different cultures and ideas, just because they disagree with one another. They'll use nuclear bombs, they'll kill each other, all these things, which other animals, if they have a dispute, it doesn't need to end like that. They stay among their families, they go where they need to go, and they don't necessarily create all these complex systems, okay? Now, they might have some conflicts. There's conflicts within humankind all the time. But how much do humankind bring that into an aggregate? How much do we bring that into like this huge system that says, we need to oppress all these people, we need to throw them into concentration camps, we need to do this and do that? I mean, that is just insane, right? You're not going to see animals going on a huge crusade wearing all this armor and saying, here's this religion and this deity and yada yada, and you must do this and you must do that. They don't have these complex systems. We have these complex systems that often alienates ourselves from our natural being, and even from our own morality, as in the case of those questions. Our own morality, which is to keep us in order. So if we're alienating ourselves from our own morality, of course we're going to have chaos, our own nature of what we know to be right and wrong. Okay, and so that is higher than instinct, but it's also among our nature. Instinct and intuition, instinct and morality, these are two things, part of ourselves we cannot just throw away. We need to know when a storm is about to hit us, or when we need to run, or when we need to duck, or when we need to dodge, whatever. Right? We need to know when to do what we are supposed to do at any given time. And that is the matter of understanding and utilizing what nature gave us. So if our body is designed to rest, are you going to ignore that rest? If it's designed to heal, are you going to let it heal? Everything in nature self-organizes and regenerates on its own. If you allow it to, if you give it credence to do that, all you have to do is allow it to do that. But that's so difficult for a lot of people because they're wrapped in a world that says, no, you cannot do and just allow things to be. You have to touch everything in existence and make sure everybody's life works this way and that way. We need to pass a law and control everybody here and there and make sure all this is controlled by this and that. When is nature in control? Wasn't nature always in control? What happens when humans overstep their bounds of control? What happens when they start to control other human beings? Are they in control of other human beings? This is why animals are better than humans, because they're not overstepping their boundaries. They're doing what they've always done, and they're living in alignment with their nature for the most part, unless, of course, there's a lot of conflicts that come into being, which often, again, comes from humanity. So, if humans are the ones creating most of the conflict in this world, perhaps they're not the best animal in this world. Thank you very much for watching. This is Corey Angelotti. Nature is the answer.